Hi everyone and welcome to Miss Estrick Biology, and in this video I'm going to be talking you through the cell cycle, mitosis and the mitotic index. So get yourself ready, get ready to make those notes, or if you don't want to make the notes yourself then you can always check out my A-level notes which I've made here for the entire A-level and I've got them linked below. But for now, let's get into mitosis. So first of all, cell division. I'm just going to be focusing on cell division in eukaryotic cells in this video, and in particular mitosis. But the alternative is meiosis, but there is a video I have on that, which I'll just link here that you can have a look at. In comparison, prokaryotic cells, they replicate by binary fission, not mitosis. And viruses, they replicate inside of the host cells that they've invaded by injecting their nucleic acid into the cell to replicate. So the cell cycle, this includes all the stages to create a new cell. So the first step is interphase, and that is made up of what we call G1, S, and G2, or S phase. Then we have the nuclear division, and that is either mitosis or meiosis. And finally, cytokinesis, which is when the cell cytoplasm splits. So on this diagram, you can see that most of the cell cycle is interphase, and it is about 90% or longer of the cell cycle is in interphase, starting here at G1 all the way round to G2 is interphase. This section here in blue, which is labelled M, they've labelled it M, so it's either mitosis or meiosis, or that could be called nuclear division. And then cytokinesis is this very, very quick stage here indicated by the red line, when the cytoplasm splits and you then have two new cells. So the G1 phase is when all of the organelles in the cell will double and the cell itself will grow in size. And this is in preparation for when the cell does split, the new cell will be big enough and both of those new cells will have their own portion of each organelle. S phase is when DNA replication happens. And then G2 is there's still some more growth, but also it's a error checking stage. So in G2, the DNA that has been replicated is checked for any potential mutations. And if a mutation is detected, the cell is destroyed at that stage to prevent potential harm. So that's the cell cycle, but what I'm going to focus on in this video is just the nuclear division, mitosis. So mitosis, there are four key stages: Prophase, Metaphase, Anaphase, and Telophase. And you might pronounce those differently. Some people say Telophase, I say Telophase. As long as you spell it correctly in the exam, that's the main thing. Now, some of the key facts you should remember from GCSE are that mitosis only involves one round of division. That's how you end up with two cells. So you go from having one, splits in half, you now have two. The cells which are made are genetically identical. They are diploid, meaning they have two copies of each chromosome. So we can see here they've got the red copy and the blue copy for this particular chromosome. And then the purpose of mitosis. So at GCSE, you would have phrased this as growth and repair. At A-level, yes, it is growth and repair, but you would need to give a specific example in an essay or in an exam question. So for example, I've given here, in immunity, to get your immune response, a humoral response, once B cells are activated, they go through clonal expansion and differentiation. And this is where mitosis happens. And again, I'll link a video up here so you can recap the humoral response if you don't quite remember that. So each stage then, you could be asked to describe what is happening to the chromosomes and within the cell during each of these four stages of mitosis. So prophase is the first one, metaphase is second, anaphase is the third, telophase is the fourth. And if I just go back to this bit where I've highlighted in red, the reason I've done the first letters in red is just to try and help you to remember PMAT is the order. And you might want to come up with some way to remember that those are the particular letters. I find that PMAT is actually just enough to remember prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So prophase, in this stage, the chromosomes condense and become visible. So in interphase, you can't actually see any individual chromosomes in a cell. It just looks like the nucleus with a really dark colour inside, but you can't see individual chromosomes. And in this stage, the chromosomes condense together, and because of that, you can start to see their shape, which tends to look like that X shape, because within interphase, DNA has replicated already. You will also have the centrioles, which we can see here in pairs, will move to the opposite poles of the cell. And the centrioles are where the protein spindle fibres are released from. So that's what happens in the first step, prophase. You'll also have the nucleus, the nuclear envelope starts to disintegrate. So by the time we're in metaphase, there's no longer a nucleus. The centrioles are at the opposite poles and they have released their spindle fibres. Now these chromosomes that were released from the nucleus align along the equator, and that's the term that we give for the centre of the cell. You can see here they've described it as the metaphase plate. AQA, we tend to say the equator of the cell. And the spindle fibres which are released will attach to either the chromatids, which are the arms of each chromosome, so the single sticks coming out, or the centromere, which is a circular pinch point in the middle of the chromosome, which holds together the two chromatids. So you do have to be really specific in your answer. The spindle fibres are attaching to the centromere and the chromatid. If you say in an exam they attach to the chromosome, you won't get any marks. You have to literally say the exact points on the chromosome where they attach. Anaphase, this is where we start to see the spindle fibres retract back into the centrioles. And that movement backwards is going to be putting some tension on the centromere, where they're attached to, until the centromere will actually break and divide. And because of that, the chromatids get pulled to opposite poles. And that's what you see happening in anaphase. So you have these chromatids on both sides going to either pole. And it's worth noting as well that this stage does require ATP. So remember that for potentially essay questions. Anaphase does require ATP. So the final stage is telophase, or you might pronounce it telophase. In this stage, the chromosomes are now at the opposite poles and they become longer and thinner again, so they aren't as visible as actual chromosomes. Spindle fibres that were created will break down and disintegrate, and the nuclear envelope, and therefore nucleus, starts to reform. Right at the end, we then get the last step of the cell cycle, and that is cytokinesis. And that is when the cytoplasm splits, which we can start to see here. It's splitting, and you then end up with two new genetically identical cells. So those were the stages of mitosis, and the spec specifies that you need to be able to describe the behaviour of the chromosomes, so knowing the position of the chromosomes, the role of the spindle fibres as well. But you also could be asked to calculate the mitotic index. And this is a way of looking at how many of the cells are going through mitosis compared to the total of number of cells present. So that's what the mitotic index is, and you calculate it by dividing the number of cells in mitosis by the total number of cells in one field of view. So for example, in this one here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 complete cells, and there are 2 cells that are currently going through mitosis, which we can tell because the chromosomes are visible. Now, in an exam question, they might specify look at only the complete cells, or they might be kind and give you an exam question where you only have complete cells that are shown. So that's it. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, why not check out the rest of the videos that I've got in this Topic 2 playlist.